the first MacVoices gift guide for 2022. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by RocketMoney. Take full control of your subscriptions with RocketMoney at rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, it's that time of year again where the MacVoices gift guides take flight. We gather up a bunch of our friends. We do a number of these panels, however many we can get organized during the rough holiday season before it really kicks in. So you have some ideas of what to give this year, maybe what you would like to get as well. The rules are pretty simple. We do 4 rounds of 1 pick each for our guests. So that gives you, in theory, 16 products per show that we feel like you should know about. You don't need to worry too much about taking notes because the links to the products will be in the show notes for each individual show, including this one. But I also keep a master page on MacVoices, the MacVoices website, and we also publish those picks in a Flipboard magazine as well. So you actually have kind of the visual representation of the old style catalogs that nobody remembers but me. Anyway, so let's go around, let's find out who's here, and then we'll get to the good stuff. And I'm going to take my screen sort of like I usually do. First up, Mr. Jeff Gamet is here. Jeff, welcome. Good to see you.
Chuck, as always, it's great to see you. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone has as picks, but I'm also really concerned about how much money people may be making me spend. Yeah,
that's always the good thing is you get cool stuff. The bad thing is that your credit card bill goes up. So what are you going to do? Brett Terpstra is here. I haven't talked to Brett for a ridiculous amount of time, and I'm delighted he was able to make it for a gift guide. Brett, good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Saw you at this summer, right?
No.
You weren't at MacStock?
No, I was suffering from COVID at the time.
Oh, that's right. I had in my head I saw you because I had built it up for so long. But yeah, you missed MacStock.
Yeah.
It has been a while. Holy cow.
It's been a ridiculous amount of time. So, but I'm glad to have you here and back in the saddle.
Are you also back in the saddle? I just had COVID a couple weeks ago. I'm still recovering.
Oh, yeah. I mean, mine was the symptoms were very, very minor. But, when you test positive, the last thing you want to do is come around a bunch of your friends and give it to them. So,
yeah.
Not very cool.
All right.
Yeah. Last but absolutely not least, Mr. Andrew Orr has appeared. Andrew, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. I know I did miss last night's MacVoices. I meant to go on, but something came up. But I'm glad to be here today.
Hey, we always understand, the life of a professional journalist, at your level is it's just the way it is. So, guys, you heard me go through the rules as if they're rules because, this is the rules usually break down real quick. But if it's okay with you, we'll just keep that order. And so that gives Jeff the very first pick of this year's 2022 MacVoices gift guide.
That in and of itself is like a gift for me because I've never been the very, very first, which means I've always had the stress of, has someone already picked the things I want to pick? And right now, that means no one has. All right, so
Can I just jump in here real quick with my first pick? Is that all right, Chuck?
Yeah, that's totally cool. Okay, so my first pick is Apple Watch Series 8, and I know it's a little bit more pricey pick, but I'm picking it because if you're someone that's in a position where you are lucky enough to have enough income where you can buy something like this as a gift for, say, an older family member, this can actually be a really useful tool for them and for you because they get a really cool watch. It does a lot of cool stuff. But if you're someone that's in a position where you're looking at having to take on a responsibility for monitoring and caring for like aging parents, then this becomes a tool that helps you as well. So it's like a win all the way around. And with the Series 8, it has the ECG. Built in, it has the blood oximeter, sensors. So, you can do heart rate, you can do blood oxygen level, you can monitor someone's gait. So if someone is having progressive walking issues, you can be aware of that. The fall detection, now having the ability to detect car crashes. It's like there's just all these things that have built up to make this, in my mind, a really, really great gift for someone who's older in your life that you need to be able to monitor and help a little more closely.
So not only did Jeff get to pick the first gift for this year, but he also accomplished the first steal, because that was going to be one of my first gifts this time. So good job, Jeff.
Nice job, Jeff.
Go me.
Go you.
That's how you play the game.
Yep. So now I got to scramble on my list. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Listen, I echo everything you said. I think the Apple Watch has become a lot more than a fashion statement, and I love it from a productivity standpoint. But everything you said about the health and the welfare of people that are wearing it just can't be beat. No question. Let's see, Brett. That means you're number 2.
I'm going to see if I can pick another one of Chuck's. This will be fun. All right. So my first pick this year is the HOTO electric screwdriver, which is $42 on Amazon. It comes in this very monolithic looking container, and it has a collection of bits, a selection of hex and Torx and Phillips, and just one standard screwdriver head. You can pop in any of them. They just slide right into the holder, and it has 3 levels of torque. The third level of torque, and then you have forward and reverse. The third level of torque is enough to drive a screw into a 2x4 without a pilot hole. So it's almost a drill. I'm not going to say it's super easy to drive a wood screw into a plank without a pilot hole, but it can do it. So for tasks where you're just taking something apart or putting a picture on the wall or something, it is a major, a handy tool to have. My one before this was a super cool gyroscopic. Like, it would just turn the screw in whatever direction you tilted it, and that was awesome. But they stopped making it, so this is my new pick. $42, not too shabby.
Very nice. I'd like a lot of people. I'm sure I have an electric screwdriver, but nothing with that much torque, because the projects I do don't need that much torque. But if I do, and that's a pretty good price.
And it's a standard like hexagonal bit holder, so any of your existing like bits will work with it. If you're doing smaller, like taking apart a Mac, for example, it's probably not going to be as handy. It's a little bit bulky, and you're not going to find like a Torx 0 for it. So you're still going to want your iFixit toolkit. But for regular around the home stuff, it's ideal.
Nice first pick, and you didn't steal anything from me.
Yeah,
Jeff.
I just picked the weird ones.
I really hope all of my picks are on Chuck's list, because that would just be for me.
That would be wild. Andrew, first pick for round 1. What do you got?
So my first pick is an iPhone case. And I think that's notable because, as I'm sure some of you know now, I'm pretty known for not using cases. I've never liked them. They just add bulk to the iPhone. But when I got my iPhone 14, I noticed that the rear glass was like very smooth and slippery. And I just found that collected fingerprints, and it just made it kind of greasy after a while. And I really don't think my hands get that greasy. So I got this case. It was recommended to me by Warren Sklar. It is from Pyle, and I have it right here in front of me. It just has this nice, subtle, gentle texture on the back that apparently makes enough of a difference for me, at least, to remain like it keeps a nice little grip on it, and it doesn't attract fingerprints, which is nice. And it is $39. And it's one of those really thin cases, so that's why I liked it, because it doesn't really add any extra bulk to your iPhone.
Andrew, hold it up if you would on edge toward the camera. Yeah, there you go. Because it looks like, and you tell me, because this is something I sort of demand in an iPhone case. I want a little ridge so that when I put my phone down flat, it's not putting it on the lenses. It's protecting the lenses, and it has that.
Yep, it does have that. It's a little ridge around it. So, like you said, it doesn't lay when you lay it down flat. It protects the lenses.
Hey, Andrew, does it have a lip on the display side too, so that the glass won't touch a surface if you lay it face down?
That too. It's very subtle. It's a smaller lip than the one around the camera, but I do feel that there is still one. So it's the same way, when you flip it down, it's still protected.
Those peel cases have been really great as far as having a thin case that does the job. Their first when they first released it, it was like a Kickstarter project, and those cases had the problem of they were so thin that they would after a while the plastic would crack and they would just kind of fall apart. And I think they've gotten a lot better since that first round. They're a lot less of a disposable case. That's why they used to cost like $8 and now they cost $30. So it's a good choice.
Yeah. Are we all case users here? I mean, I know, and like you said, Andrew, you weren't, but I think we're all case users here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good pick. Good pick. My first pick of the year, I'm going to go a little, not cerebral, but I'm going to go a little very Apple oriented. And I'm going to suggest as an audiobook or as a book to read, After Steve by Trip Mickle. This is a really, really fun read if you're an Apple fan, and even if you're not an Apple fan. And unlike most Apple books, there's not a huge focus on Steve Jobs. It's more a focus on Johnny Ive and his relationship with Steve Jobs and his relationship with Tim Cook. And it's a little more, not exactly a profile of Tim Cook, but it's a little less history and a little more relatively recent events. And I've said this a couple times. After you read it, you will never look at Johnny Ive or Tim Cook again the same way. That doesn't mean bad, doesn't mean good, just different. Just different people, different focuses, different styles and all. And it's absolutely worth your time. And again, if you like audiobooks, it's in Audible. And if you like to read it, just pick it up or buy it by Kindle or Apple Books, whatever works for you. But well worth it.
Nice.
Yeah. Has anybody read it? Am I the only one? Okay.
I've not read it yet.
I don't think I've read that one, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's absolutely worth the time. This edition of MacVoices is supported by RocketMoney. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions today with RocketMoney at rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. One of the easiest ways to save money is not to spend money. Another is to be sure that you're spending money on the things that you really use. Those are two reasons that you should check out RocketMoney. RocketMoney lets you see all your subscriptions in one place so that you can easily evaluate what you're paying for, how much you're paying for it, and decide if you're getting value for that subscription. If you are, great. If not, then you need to cancel that subscription. You could waste hours on the phone talking to customer service reps or digging through the service's website to try to find out how to cancel your subscription. Or you could just hit the cancel button in RocketMoney, and they take care of the rest. It's time to start saving some money. Get rid of useless subscriptions with RocketMoney now. Go to rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. rocketmoney.com/MacVoices. Thanks to RocketMoney for supporting this week's MacVoices. All right. I love the fact that we end up with such diverse picks even in the first round. So this is round 2. And Jeff, you are up again. See if you can do a steal.
I bet I can't with this one.
Two out of 4 chance you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep trying. All right. So if you have someone in your life who really likes their Apple Pencil, they might be in the same position I am, where the tip that ships with Apple Pencil just doesn't feel quite like an actual pen or pencil on paper. I mean, to me, it still feels like plastic on glass. I mean, it's a nice tip, but it doesn't give me the tactile feedback that I want. So here we have Pen Tips 2 from the company. It's called Pen Tips. And this is a replacement stylus tip for the Series 1 and Series 2 Apple Pencil that has a texture to it that makes it feel more like you're using a real pen or pencil as opposed to a stylus. And the difference that I feel when I'm using this tip is remarkable. And where it really shines for me is if I'm drawing with Apple's pencil tip, I feel like I'm just kind of shooting in the dark, trying to gauge where my lines are really going because I don't have the tactile feedback I need. But I put this tip on, and now I feel like I have much more control over what I'm doing on screen with my iPad. And a set of 3 of these costs $50, which is more than Apple charges for a set of their tips. But holy crap, these are really good, and I expect that the 3-pack that I have is going to last quite a long time. And you can get them in different colors. Actually, I think you can get them in black or white. But yeah, so there you go. Pen Tips 2.
That is actually an amazing. I love that. I'm going to get that from my mom, who I sold my Apple Pencil to because I didn't like the way it felt. It wasn't exciting to me. If it felt a little better on the screen, I might have held on to it. But I'll get those from my mom. She'll love it.
Well, then here's a bonus for her. When she gets it, you open up the package. And you look at everything and you think, holy crap, this is like way engineered for a box to hold 3 Apple Pencil tips. Because you open up a big cardboard box and then you pull out this plastic case that has the 3 tips in the case. Well, that plastic case has a hole in the middle and it becomes a stylus holder for your Apple Pencil. So you can actually keep the case with extra tips on your desk and then just go whoop, and pop your Apple Pencil in.
Nice.
Jeff, I have to ask what I think is an obvious question. If the tip is giving you that texture, is it potentially doing any damage to the screen?
That seems like a totally legit question. And no, it's not hard. So it's and it's not like really soft. So it's not like it can scratch the glass or it can leave like some weird coating on the glass. And when you feel the tip, I mean, it doesn't feel soft at all. It just feels like it has a different texture.
Because I think we've all probably at one point or another gotten those cheap giveaway pens that you click it out and it's a pen, you click it back and it's a little rubber stylus crayon kind of thing.
And it's nothing like that.
I don't think it is, but that's the closest I can come to saying I understand what okay, I know what the Apple Pencil feels like, and I know what that stylus feels like, and not that you'd want to do anything with that, but because it's just sort of I don't want to say gross tool because that's not gross in the bad sense, just gross in the size sense that you can't really do anything with it except something you probably would do with a finger anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Think of it this way. Apple Pencil with the tip that it ships with feels like when you step on ice and you just have no traction and you don't know where you're going to end up sliding. The pen tips 2 feels like when you step and you're wearing shoes that can adhere a little bit and make it feel like you have a little bit of gription going on.
Also, what it feels like walking on concrete.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Some good analogies here. All right. Well, thank you. You didn't steal from me, but that's good. That's really good.
It was a good effort, though,
I still
Jeff.
took my
That was
chances. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Brett, round 2. What do you have for us?
All right. So I live in a place that has occasional power outages. And the thing that has made that sane experience for me has been plugging my entertainment devices into uninterruptible power supplies and getting my Apple TV working for as long as I can. Except in the cases where the power outage is coupled with a cable outage and then I don't have internet and that's my version of hell. But for those situations, I decided to up my game and have a portable power station always charged and ready to go. So I got the Anker 251 portable power station with a solar generator. Solar panel is optional, and it has a 256 watt hour capacity. So it can run 200 watt devices with 2 AC ports, one like what we used to call a cigarette lighter port, 2 USB-A and 1 USB-C, and it can run them all simultaneously at up to 200 watts for as many hours as a 256 watt hour capacity will get you. I have not actually had occasion to run it dry yet, thankfully. But it is for a nerd who wants to be able to charge their iPhone, and for emergencies, with a lot of people facing, natural disasters right now. It can't hurt to have something that's powerful enough to help you and a neighbor recharge your devices for a bad night. I think it's a sanity and a safety thing.
Very nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
it even has a little light,
and you can recharge it. It doesn't come with it, you said, but you can get a solar panel for it, so that if you're out for an extended period, you can still recharge the battery and then charge other things.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just plug it into You can just plug it in when you do have power, and it holds a charge for. Like, I plugged it in just to check its charge after about 2 months of sitting not plugged into anything, and it hadn't lost any charge. Wow. So you can charge it up and leave it, and it'll be ready for an emergency.
Yeah, sounds like an Anker product.
Anker does a good job.
They do a real good job. Nice pick.
At $250, it's not the cheapest thing on the list, but totally worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Andrew, round 2.
All right. So my second pick is also power related, but it's not by Anker. It's not the same category. This is a smaller form factor. Now, I just want to give a little disclosure. I only got this yesterday in the mail because I got sent this to write a review of it, which I will be doing in the future. But I already like it, so I thought it would be a good pick. So this is it's a Moft charger, MagSafe for iPhones. It's more powerful than Apple's offering. So this is 3,400 milliamp hours. There was some report that Apple's battery was 1460. Which is not that great. But I just like it. It feels kind of fancy. It has this leather feel to it. And so it's from Moft. And so they are known for these magnetic foldable kickstands for the iPhone. So it just magnetically snaps into place like that. And it's just really nice. It has a power button. It charges via USB-C. And I've been liking it so far.
Can you use it? Can you use the stand, the battery, and the iPhone at the same time? Do they all work together?
Yes.
Cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice pick. Moft came out of sort of came out of nowhere, and they keep coming up with really these cool products and different little takes on things that I really like. So good pick.
Yeah.
So since we're talking power, I'm going to take a little bit different angle from both of you. This is sort of like Andrew's, but different. This is a MyCharge portable charger battery. So this is MagSafe. It's 6,000 milliamp hours, so it's not quite as much as Andrew's. The one thing I really love about the MagSafe, even with a case on, is so solid that it just will not come off. So if you are in a situation where you're at a conference or something and you've run the battery down, you can stick this on the back of your iPhone and it will not move off your phone, and it can charge it while it's in your pocket. It can charge it while you're using it. It's definitely going to have a little more bulk than what Andrew just suggested. It's a little thing, but it comes in colors, and which I love because if I throw it in my backpack, I can find it. Because the inside of my backpack is black. And so many of these, are black, and then they disappear, and I know it's in there, but I have to unpack the whole darn thing to find it. So that's a little thing. But if you pick the right color, you can find it. I own a lot of these little power banks, and sort of to Brett's point, if you're in an emergency situation or there's an emergency coming, take this one, take Andrew's, take Brett's, take anything you have and charge it. So that that way you have as much power available to you as possible. And by the way, as an aside, don't forget that your car can be a great source of power too, if you fill it up with gas, and need it. But anyway, so yeah, you need to have one of these little battery packs of some kind, but it depends on which phone you have. But if you have one that is new enough and supports MagSafe, that's definitely the way to go. So this seems to be the power round.
Oh, man.
I feel bad. I didn't get the memo. I could have picked a power related thing.
Well, maybe at some point in the future, Jeff.
I'm going to start the next round with power. So it's going to be a spillover, Jeff, if you want to look something up real quick.
Jeff, Brett, and Andrew are back in the next edition of MacVoices to finish off MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 1. And as you would expect, there's some surprises, and there are always a lot of laughs. That's next time on MacVoices. I'll see you then. Until then, and as always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.